sort of the legend of Bruce Lee, where sort of, Bruce Lee is, a legend of the silver screen. Because of him, he helped spread martial arts into the United States and all over the world. But when I hear people talk about him, they're talking about him as if he's this unbeatable superhero that if he were alive today, he'd be destroying, John Jones. It's I don't know. What are your thoughts on Bruce Lee, the mystique, the legend?
I mean, I think that it's awesome that you have these bigger than life characters that only come around like maybe once in a lifetime. That kind of stuff has always blown me away. Like how young he was to make such an impact like he did is just, I just don't understand it. Like There's just some people who have that ability, that level of charisma, like Muhammad Ali did, to where you will never forget them. Like they are immortalized in personality. They're immortalized in their whatever it is that their jobs were, whatever it was that they were trying to make an impact on. They can do that, and nobody, like we're billions of people on the planet. Like no one can do that shit, but these people could. Especially in an age where you not like now, where if you want to be famous, you can just go online and start trying. It was an age where you had to be given a chance. You had to be given an opportunity by people above you. They had to want to push you, and you had to work, like really work much harder than we have to be known. And so when I look at Bruce Lee, I look at all the things that he did well. He was a philosopher. He convinced so many people to love the martial arts. He had a great mentality of, all these great quotes, which were so good that I still think of today, take what's useful and throw away what's not and stuff like that. But he wasn't a prize fighter. He was not a prize fighter. And he would not have, if Bruce Lee became like all of a sudden was revived and Bruce Lee existed in today's age and you implant him into today's culture, he'd be a YouTube star. Let's just be honest. That's probably what would wind up happening. He would still be pursuing movies. He would do that. He would be that personality, but he would be a great stuntman. Like, I'm not saying that he couldn't fight, because in all honesty, I don't know. I never met Bruce Lee. I've only seen limited footage of him actually moving around. I love the JKD concepts and the ideas, right? And people say that he could whoop wholesale ass, right? And he must have been able to in some capacity, just because of the amount of people that he was able to interact with. But he wasn't a prize fighter. And I'm not putting that against him. I'm just saying, why would that scenario ever come up ever of him being in MMA? It didn't. He wasn't in boxing. He wasn't in kickboxing. He wasn't in sport martial arts when it was at the heyday, like whenever it was sponsored by Budweiser back then. He wasn't a fighter like that. That just wasn't what he did. So I can give the man all the respect in the world, but what I can't do is say something that he wasn't. And he wasn't a prize fighter. That's just facts. That's not there to hurt anyone's feelings. Could he have done it? I don't know. It's just not what he wanted to do. So why would he be implanted now and all of a sudden change his entire mind around about wanting to be this actor and this powerful man? Why would he become a prize fighter? He wouldn't. It would never happen.
Yeah. I feel like that there's a tendency of our culture to want sort of superheroes, real life superheroes. And I saw a similar thing with Conor McGregor, who I'm a huge fan of. I absolutely love Conor McGregor. The guy's had an unreal career. He called the fight against Jose Aldo. He stood in the middle of the octagon at Madison Square Garden and put his hands behind his back, fighting Eddie Alvarez, and put Eddie Alvarez away. Unfucking believable. He fought Floyd Mayweather without ever having a professional boxing match. Unbelievable. He talks the most amazing shit, right? And I love that he backed it up, right? But I never allowed my fandom of him to get in the way of reality. And the reality was, as great as he is, as much as you might want him to be a superhero, there's Khabib Nurmagomedov. So it's sort of like, in your mind you could have this dream of who this person is, but fuck, there is reality in Khabib that is going to be coming your way. And I don't know. I prefer that than, sort of, I don't know, just building up, these, indestructible figures in my mind.
I don't know. I think that they're necessary. Like, it's interesting the things that affect us that we like to pretend aren't real. Like, and I know it's satirical and it's maybe off the beaten path as an example, but South Park did an episode all about this, about how fictional characters are realer than we like to make them be, because they make an impact on us. They change our decision-making skills. They push us in a direction to want and to feel certain ways. I mean, that's real in a way, and it might not be tangible, right? Like, for instance, like Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles, right? Like, had a direct effect on me, right? I love nunchucks. I love like the
Pizza.
whole like the being goofy and like just enjoying martial arts in a fun way. Like, that's always been me. And I can't say that that wasn't a direct reflection of me watching the fucking Ninja Turtles when I was younger, Like, I don't think that those things are invalid. And I think that we as people want to pretend that they aren't valid.